afternoon or good evening, whatever it is where you are. Right here where I am right now at home, it is the afternoon and I kind of just woke up, but I really wanted to get this video out. It's so important to me, and I'm just gonna go right ahead and start talking about the topic of this video. After I say, my name is Shainah, but feel free to call me Slaynuh because this is Slaynuh Sofa. I'm 21 years old. I will turn 22 in September of this year. And just to keep in the back of your mind, I am not a representative or a spokesperson for East Carolina University, which is where I went to school before I graduated this past May. Everything that I'm going to be discussing are my personal thoughts and my experiences at the university and abroad as an ECU student. I had two study abroad experiences during my undergraduate career. I studied abroad in London, England in 2017, which was the summer before my sophomore year. Is that correct? Yes, if it's incorrect, I'll put it on the screen.
It was right before my junior year started.
I was in London for 3 weeks in July. That was faculty-led. So I was with 4 professors from my university, and I didn't even know there would be a group of us students from ECU, but there was a group of us. There was about 10, 15 maybe of us, including a few graduate students. We took classes with those professors, so we each chose 2 classes that we wanted to take, and we stayed in flats in London, well, specifically in Westminster. So that was an amazing experience. London is a place I've wanted to visit since I was probably 10 years old or so. So being able to go to England was very special to me. I was so grateful for the opportunity from scholarship donors, from my parents' ability to help me financially as much as they could, God giving me this opportunity and allowing me to take advantage of it. So it was an amazing place. I actually consider it one of the places I may live in the future, you know, if that's what God has for me. And coming back, the reverse culture shock was bad, but let's kind of like get into Ghana. In London, most of the people I interacted with, honestly, were the people in my group. People who went to school in Greenville, people who either were still in school there or they were in the neighborhood because they had already graduated, or they were, you know, commuting, about to graduate, whatever. Most of the people I met were within walking or even reaching distance of me from my London experience. So when I said bye to them from, you know, London and then going to the airport and then going home, it wasn't really goodbye, because we were still in the same country, same state, and for a lot of people, same city. And I'm not trying to say 3 weeks isn't enough time to build a bond, because I did build a bond with people, but the difference is I really made a home out of Ghana. I was in Ghana, West Africa, studying abroad from August to December of 2018, which was the fall semester of my senior year. It was amazing. I spent my birthday there. I was able to just do a lot of amazing things while I was in Ghana for an entire semester for 4 months. And so, you know, there were things that I missed back home, but the experience in Ghana was completely worth it. It was amazing. I took 5 classes while I was in Ghana. I took Ghanaian literature. I took the short story, which was basically short stories from people all over the world, authors from Europe, Asia, Africa, the United States, everywhere in the world. I also took traditional dance 1. I also took Twi, which is a language spoken in Ghana, West Africa. And I took a history class which discussed European colonization and the African response to that. So I took classes that were very true and unique to Ghana, which is exactly what I wanted. I was able to pick my own classes, and the experience inside of the classroom and outside of the classroom was literally the best experience of my life. Like, it was the second best decision that I ever made in my entire life, and that is not an exaggeration. The number 1 best decision that I made was giving my life to Christ. But going to Ghana, living there, experiencing it, was the second best decision of my entire life. Like, I am being so serious. London and Ghana are 2 places that I would consider living in once I have my life figured out, settled, however you want to word that. If you would like to know what my experiences was like in Ghana and not just hear my words, if you would like to see it, please be sure to check out my West African travel vlogs. I have one for Ghana, and I also have one for Ivory Coast because I was in Ivory Coast for a few days during the fall semester. Since I've already vlogged about my experience, I'm not really doing this video as a catch up or a kind of explaining to you what I did. This is more of a reflection, and I've been wanting to do this since I got back home December 19th, but I haven't been in the mindset to do it justice. So that's why it's been so long. And also, to be honest, partially paired with me just being lazy and not feeling like sitting down, recording it, and, you know, really opening up about my emotions, because this is a very, very sensitive topic, even, you know, 7 months later. And a lot of people don't see it that way. They're like, oh, you just took some classes, you ate some food, you met some people, you learned some of a new language to you, but like, what else did you do? I'm like, you just don't understand. And then there obviously are some people who, like some of my family and my friends, who respect how I'm feeling, and even though they didn't go there themselves, they understand the connection that I made to Ghana just based off of the pictures I posted, the videos I posted, everything I've been telling them. But it's something that's taken a lot for me to actually sit down and make a video about it, and make this a public video at that. But I've been writing about this homesickness from Ghana, this reverse culture shock, since I actually left the Accra airport, because I love writing, and it's a way for me to not only talk out, but like talk up to God. So it's really been a great outlet for me, but I did want to post this video for other people who may be studying abroad in the future, or you might have already studied abroad and you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? I feel like I'm at home, but a piece of me is gone again. Like, I kind of want to just be a beacon of light and encourage you a little bit more. The final push that I got to make this video.
Hey, Zoe.
And I'm going to leave her YouTube name right here because she's amazing. She studied abroad in Australia. She's from Canada. Her vlogs are amazing. She has a very sweet personality. She's beautiful. I just love her videos, so I'm going to link her channel below as well in the description box. She made a video 2 days after she got back from studying abroad, and I was like, wow, that's so brave and that's so courageous. And not just because she did it, but because she faced similar hardships as I did from studying abroad. I literally cried on the plane coming back to America. I believe it was my Accra to Amsterdam flight that I cried on the airplane, and I was trying to like tears were falling down, but I really tried to minimize it because I didn't want the person I was sitting next to begin questioning me, asking me if I was okay, because then that would just make me cry even more. But it was very difficult, especially first coming back. When I left Accra, I left the international student hostel, a lot of my friends saw me away. My program, the people that were still there saw me away. But I didn't cry there. I was actually smiling and laughing, and I don't know if that was partially a defense mechanism, but it also was partially because I knew I would be coming back to Accra, Ghana. And I will be coming back to that country. But I don't think it fully hit me either, that even though I would be going back, I wouldn't be able to always see the same exact people, because some are graduating, some are back in the States. You know, everyone lives in different countries. University of Ghana is very different in the sense that people come from every single different country. People come from every single region in not only Ghana, but there are people from different parts of Africa, different parts of Asia, different parts of Europe, the United States. And so that experience that I had this past semester, or 2 semesters ago, it will not be the same when I come back. And I think once I got home, it hit me that I couldn't just, turn over to my roommate Lex, or go a couple doors down to my friends, or even go downstairs to my friends. And it was and even just thinking about it, it's a lot for me. And I'm happy that I had the experience, but I just didn't expect to be this attached, but I should have, because it's such a beautiful country with such beautiful people. And to make the situation even more I came back to the United States during a government shutdown. I was faced with racism less than 7 days after me coming back. And it was just not, the best, environment to walk back into. Obviously, my family was amazing. So happy to see me. I was so happy to see them. They picked me up from the airport and, we caught up and everything like that. But it was just the state of the country was like, are you serious? Like, welcome home. And it's like right before Christmas. So it's comical to me almost. Sometimes I feel like I'm on a reality TV show and like, I don't know, someone's watching it and I don't even know that they're recording it. But something that actually made me very self-conscious coming back was my skin. Anytime I leave the United States, I usually go to the country's food is healthy. It's not full of additives or preservatives. The water is amazing. Like, I couldn't drink the water in Africa from the tap, but like the food, it was just so fresh and inexpensive, and my skin flourished there. Like, even when my cycle started, like my menstrual cycle, I felt great. And coming back, my skin just, it was readjusting to the climate, to the food here, and it just was doing terribly. And it really made me feel self-conscious because I don't really have skin issues. The only time I suffered from skin issues was when I was going through puberty, blue moons ago. But I had to get adjusted to my skin doing whatever it wanted to, really. And then it took 3 to 4 months for my stomach to get adjusted back to the food here. I still don't eat fast food just because I really see what it has done to my body. The closest thing to fast food that you'll see me eating is a fry from somewhere, and Chipotle. Like, Chipotle is my go-to. It was before I left, and it still is now. So I actually missed Chipotle while I was in Ghana because it actually was in London, and I only ate it once while I was there. Some of the biggest things about coming back for me were using both of my hands. So in Ghanaian culture, using your right hand for everything is seen as respectful, proper, but the culture has it that using your left hand is disrespectful and dirty because people use their left hand to wipe themselves with when they're using the bathroom. I don't mean they use their bare hand, but like, they use the toilet paper and they wipe themselves with their left hand. So that's why in that particular culture that using your right hand is respectful and proper. And so I got back to the United States, and I got back to the United States the 19th. Me and my family went to eat on the 20th, and I was using my left hand to cut something, and my hand felt limp. And like, because I really hadn't been using it that much while I was in Ghana. And even in Ghanaian culture, if you use your left hand for whatever reason, you say sorry and you apologize. And a quick story I want to share is while I was in Ghana, I was volunteering with a group of girls, teaching them English, developing my own lesson plans to teach them reading, writing, and speaking. That's what I did. And I remember one time, one of the girls handed me her pen with her left hand. I said thank you because it didn't mean anything to me in my culture, but she came back a few minutes later and she told me, I'm sorry. And I said, for what? And she told me that it was because she handed me the pen with her left hand. So that just really stuck out to me, how norms and our cultures are embedded into our brains. Kind of like how in the States you say bless you. Nope. People just go on about their day when you sneeze. So sometimes when my girls would sneeze and I'd say bless you and I didn't get a response, I'd be like, oh, I forgot. I also miss the cost of living in Ghana compared to the US. Like, with my American dollar, the cost of living was very affordable, and I could live, like, honestly better than the average college student here in the United States. And that says a lot because I'm already frugal. I already don't spend that much money, but it was even cheaper in Ghana for me. And even though, like, living in a city like New York City or Washington DC gives room for public transportation, it was everywhere minus small villages in Ghana at like 24/7. Does not matter what time of the day or where you are, really, you can get around anywhere and it's not expensive at all. I mean, Uber is your best bet in Ghana, Uber or Taxify, because the taxis in city are a lot of money. And I understand because these people are trying to make a living. And I did take taxis every now and then. But for your pocket, sometimes it's cheaper to do, you know, Uber or Taxify. Overall, you know, I miss the culture. I miss my friends. I miss the food. I miss being able to just wake up, look over my balcony, and just seeing the heaps of red sand.
I meant to say red soil.
Seeing the trees that house plantains, hearing trees spoken, using Ghanaian English with my friends. Like, if I close my eyes, sometimes I can just think about it and I can visualize it and I can see it, and that truly makes things better. And I'm also able to watch my vlogs. I still have friends who are there, so I watch their social media stories and I read their posts, and it really does something for me, and it's really a really great feeling. I will say what made the transition back very hard was the fact that campus life at ECU and UG are very, very different. It's not untypical to see, you know, when you go eat at University of Ghana or even be anywhere and you be approached by someone, like whether you're sitting down eating or you're trying to find a building or you're going somewhere, and you basically make a friend that way. Like, people are so friendly. They'll sit down with you, like, and it's not like in the sense they're trying to invade your privacy. Like, a lot of Americans might see that as disrespectful, but like the eating areas of University of Ghana were like long public tables, or like you don't really have your own table necessarily. So someone would sit down and they might just, you know, speak to you and a conversation would start, and before you know it, you probably have a friend for the entire semester. And it was just, you know, anyone who goes to school in America knows that the dining hall or the cafeteria, whatever you want to call where you eat, or even the food centers, you sit down somewhere and that's your area until you get up, unless there are no more tables. So people, you know, they ask you, can I sit with you? And so everyone has their earphones in, everyone's on their phone or everyone's on their laptop, whether that's to listen to music, watch a show, watch a movie, watch a music video, or do work. And it just felt so I felt so disconnected from everyone. Not my friends, because I still saw my friends, I ate with them, talked to them, hung out with them, but like just physically being on campus, I felt disconnected, because for the most part nobody talks to each other. And I'm not just speaking on behalf of my campus. That can be said for a lot of US campuses, just because that is our culture and people are fine with that. And you know, people will speak to you, wave hi and everything, but it's just completely different coming from a culture in Ghana that was very I always say togetherness, versus, you know, the American culture in college. It really, I'm not even gonna lie, like it really depressed me for a little while. And something else that is not news to me, but it kind of hits home differently when you leave home, is that life can change so quickly when you're away, whether you're away for a month or you're away for a year. Like, people change, circumstances change. My entire campus just about changed while I was gone, like physically speaking, like just the buildings on campus and things like that. So it, you know, it just goes to show you that life goes on with or without you, and you really shouldn't expect time to stop and stand still just because you're not there. And I didn't expect that. But like I said, it hits home differently when you actually leave home for an extensive period of time and things are different. And what also made the transition so hard for me is the fact that I'm a Black woman. And you know, we don't really learn about history of our people before slavery. We don't know that we come from kings and queens of gold. We don't know the richness that we come from. And I don't mean rich as in like, oh, you have money. I just mean a rich culture, rich people, rich languages, hundreds of languages. in each country, and to just be home. Like, it was so, literally there was no adjusting, because as soon as I stepped foot on the motherland, I felt this sense of peace from within, and I was home. And everyone there reminded me of that. You're my sister, you're home. And it was just so amazing. And I think coming back to a culture in America that largely perpetuates this idea that, you know, it's not like that. It's really hard. And even though I'm surrounded by people who love me and I love them, you know, you can't help but be burdened sometimes by just the larger, you know, image. I've been doing a lot of writing for this experience, so I just want to share a small tidbit from something that I wrote, and it's literally like a sentence. This is for us travel bugs, grateful for our life and loved ones here, but still recovering from everlasting reverse culture shock. For those of us split between two homes, how do we choose? Better yet, why does life make it seem like we have to? And that just really speaks to me as a black woman living in America, having traveled to 4 different countries. I went to England, I went to Ghana, I went to Ivory Coast, and I went to Colombia. And this is not a bragging moment, but just reflecting on it. I spent my entire life living in white America. And so going back home to Ghana, West Africa, it just really was a life-changing experience that I recommend 3,000 times for everybody, especially black people. But I feel like half of me is here and half of me is back in Ghana. And I feel like society makes us choose between our culture and who we are. I can eat fufu and listen to Afrobeats and still educate you on why racism in America is a thing. Like, there's so many layers to me as a black woman, as a black person, and I recognize that and I actually appreciate that, and I feel like I shouldn't have to choose between what are my two homes. Even though I will eventually choose between which one I live in, I know that home is also within, and it's also the people I surround myself with and the people I keep in my heart. In closing, I want to thank you so much if you made it through this video. It was emotional for me. I'm really surprised that I didn't cry, but I think I'm in a content place. I'm in a place of peace, and had I done this months ago, I would have been angrily yelling at the screen, or I would have been sobbing and I wouldn't have even gotten a sentence out. So I'm grateful for where I am now and these thoughts that I'm having now. If you're going to be studying abroad soon, I really pray that this does not discourage you, but it really gives you that incentive to go, because you're going to make these connections that are so strong and so amazing, and you're gonna go back if you know, save up for it, or if you go to grad school there, whatever, make it work. Go back to that country that you love so much. And if you've already studied abroad and you're in a similar boat to me, know that you're not alone. It's okay to have days where you just want to be back in that country you lived in for however long it was. But don't miss what you're experiencing here at home because you're so stuck in the past. Remember to appreciate the present just as much as you appreciate the past, and build for your future. So I hope that this encouraged you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave me a like. Please drop me a comment down below and subscribe before you leave. Bye.